So it's been a few weeks since the last video, but that's because we had to send the turbo off to be refurbished, and we've only just got it back.
So I think we're going to get this sent off, or at least get a price to have it rebuilt, because I think a new turbo we're going to be in for a lot of money.
Mate, I hate to say it, but this time, genuinely, Facebook Marketplace has done you dirty. But hopefully today, that's all going to change. Because we possibly bought the UK's worst Ford Focus ST, and also the slowest, which was struggling to make any boost at all. We had the car dynoed, and the result was pretty embarrassing. So we decided to remove the turbo, as this seemed to be the problem. Yes! And seeing as we couldn't get a new turbo, we sent ours off to be refurbished, as well as having the actuator looked at, which seemed to be fine, and had a new turbo solenoid fitted just for peace of mind. But this did come in at a small cost, and to get the turbo refurbished as well as having the solenoid replaced cost us £395.35, which I didn't really think was all that bad. I've now got to try and remember how all of this goes back together. So to start off with, I cleaned the back of the engine down using some degreaser and a scotch pad, removed all the old studs still left in the back of the block, and fitted the new gasket and 12 brand new manifold studs. Then refitted the turbo and quickly remembered at how awkward this was to take out in the first place. But with some patience and a lot of fettling, I wonder if this is how Ford does it, we had it back in place. After realising that it was the downpipe getting in our way. Yes.
Yes, boy.
Yeah, that's the downpipe holding it. Then refitted the actuator and then started to tighten all 12 of the brand new manifold studs. And after slowly getting through around 9 of them, I got them down to the last 3, and then come to realise there was something seriously wrong. Oh, come on. And when I say seriously wrong, I really mean it. Oh, no. This was a serious problem. Like a kind of, I'm feeling at this point, like I'm gonna have the engine out kind of problem. As you're about to find out. Now in the world of mechanics, this is what we like to call, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of mechanics out there that would probably call this a lot of things right now, and that's how I'm feeling, but this is definitely a disaster. It looks like the thread has been stripped out the block of the engine, which I wasn't really to know, because most of the studs come out with the manifold when I removed it, and all I've done is screwed these in. Most of them went in hand tight anyway. They screwed most of the way in. I nipped them up just using a pair of mole grips. Which they all done, so it wasn't to know that there was no thread in there, which is really weird because theoretically this shouldn't have nipped up, but it did, and it's not like I've stripped it because I haven't even had a chance of tightening this, so I'm not really sure what's happened, and right now I'm not really sure what to do because it looks like I'm going to have to take the manifold off to sort this out. I don't really know. Would JB Weld work on this sort of thing? I don't know. So to hopefully save us from having to remove the engine, we removed the turbo and went down to Courtney Sports to seek some advice, which was this: a time cert kit and a shallow headed drill, as we'd have to drill out the hole with the engine in place, which wasn't exactly easy. We had to drill it out using a time cert sized drill bit, and this was the scary part. We then had to countersink the hole, which would allow the time cert thread to sit flush once fitted. Then we had to cut a new thread into the hole we just drilled using a tool called a tap. And then all we was left to do was to screw in the time cert thread, which would work out to give us the exact size hole we need to use the original manifold stud. And I think now I'm finally back to where we originally got to, apart from I'm a little bit further ahead because I have got the turbo and the manifold bolted back up. It all went up nice and tight on the studs, thankfully. I mean, talk about a one step forward, two steps back situation, right? But the coolant lines and the oil lines are hooked back up. The downpipe is back on, that was 3 bolts. The actuator is back on, and the heat shield is bolted back up to the top of the turbo as well, which is 2 bolts. So I'm a little bit further ahead than I originally got to, but at least we're back to this point now where I can now start getting this plumbed in, and we have all new silicone hoses down here. This was just like a cheapy kit off of eBay that I got, but as you can see, this is, I don't know the sizes, but this is sort of the original sizing from the intercooler originally, and this, being much bigger, is RS Turbo size fittings, because we have an intercooler off of an RS Turbo. So we've had to replace all the silicone hoses to get this thing plumbed in. Now, all I need to do is measure this stuff up and cut this down. Now, in the past, I have used things like Stanley blades. I think I've even gone probably as far as using a hacksaw blade as well. And admittedly, it didn't make a very nice job. But this time, I want to make a nice job of this. And I had a chat with John down at Courtney Sports, went over there yesterday, and he has kindly lent me his silicone pipe cutting tool kit. And I'm going to share this with you guys on how it's done, because it makes a really nice job, and the kit itself is definitely not what you think it is. I think this is a bit of an industry kept secret. To do this, you're going to need a good bench vise, a broomstick handle, and a big knife. This is some MI6 Courtney Sports top secret information. Oh yeah, and some masking tape. And the idea of this is that we're using the stick to rest the silicone pipe on so that we can cut into it using your mum's kitchen knife, and hopefully by following the line of the tape we're going to get a nice straight cut, and using this knife, a nice neat one. And the trick as well is to push as hard into it as you can, because we want to try and do this in one cut. Now, John did say that this is probably going to take some practicing, so I'm not expecting this to come out as neat as I'd like it to, but I'm pretty sure that this is going to beat trying to do this with a Stanley blade or a hacksaw blade. And actually, that is really good. And now, with most of the silicone pipes cut and fitted, thanks again Courtney Sport, I could make a start on fitting the intercooler. And the intercooler pipes, I don't think I need to cut down. I'm hoping that these are just a direct fit, as these were bought as part of a kit. So let's get this intercooler on. It bolts in 2 bolts, which is pretty easy on the crash bar. Under here, and under here it fits up in front of the radiator and the aircon rad, and then the horn just fits in on the top and bolts in there. So I'm hoping that this is going to be pretty straightforward. I started out by fitting the pipes to the car first, as this seemed like the most sensible thing to do. One pipe goes to the inlet manifold, and the second pipe goes to the fixed piping that goes to the turbo under the engine. I then found it easier to fit the intercooler by putting one side of the intercooler into one of the silicone pipes to hold it, which meant I could play around with the other side getting the intercooler to fit into the pipe. It was a little awkward, but once it was in, I fixed it in place and done up the Jubilee clips. And all I'm left to do now is to put a new oil filter in it, which is down here, so I just need to pop off the plastic cap, change that out. I've got a new one over there, some fresh oil, some fresh coolant to go in it. And then I'm pretty sure, I will just check everything, make sure everything's tight. I'm pretty sure we're ready to fire this thing up. I removed the old oil filter, which was definitely needing a change. Nice. Fitted the new filter with a new seal. And then filled the car up with oil and some fresh coolant. Right, so I think we're just about ready to crank this thing over. We've disconnected the fuel pump relay purely and simply because we just want to turn this thing over just to get some oil around the turbo. Yeah, I mean...
And if we do hear the sound of a valve hitting the piston, then we haven't got to worry about it too much. I'm a
little bit nervous, I'm not going to lie.
Are you?
Yeah.
I think it'll be fine.
Well, we've done the countdown.
I think we nailed it. I'm confident.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Definitely.
Let's do it.
Should we do it?
Yeah.
Right, come on.
Hopefully it's the right relay.
Well, mate, I know otherwise.
Oh my god, here we go.
Ready?
No.
We didn't start. There's no knocking noises.
Not yet. Okay, well that's a good sign.
I guess that's enough, is it?
I don't know.
You're the mechanic.
Am I? I thought I was a painter. Mate, I've never done this before, I don't know.
Well, that's a good sound. So we haven't got any knocking noises coming from the engine. So I reckon just put the relay in, mate. Just
fire it up.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Should we do it?
Yeah. Oh, moment of truth.
Will it start?
I hope so.
Just keep turning it over.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. Where it just seizes now.
Do you reckon? Sounds alright?
Hey, it sounds good, doesn't it? Yeah.
I don't know what all this nonsense about all this mechanical stuff's about, mate. It's all nuts and bolts, isn't it?
It's easy, isn't it?
Actually, I should have said this once we got it down the road. We found out we actually got half the power than we had last time.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my god.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is good. Wow.
That is awesome.
Pleased with that. So that's it, die down from the cold start as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'd say that was a success. So that's about it, isn't it? What more can we do other than get the wheels back on, bumper, bonnet back on, get this thing down the road, which is all going to be in the next video.
And then roll and road it.
And get it back on the rolling roads, yeah. And hopefully make more than 187 brake horsepower. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
What if it's less? This video will be really academic, won't it? It'll be fine, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. So yeah.
Oh my god. So hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you have, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you all in the next one.
2, 3, 4, 5. 5 plus 2 is 7. Yeah. This is number 8.